Have you ever pondered the morality of using religious stories for content creation? This question may seem out of left field, but in our modern world, where content is king and diversity is its queen, it's a topic that deserves our attention. The landscape of content creation has shifted dramatically in the last decade. We've moved from a world where mainstream media dominated to one where anyone with internet access can be a content creator. This democratization of media has opened up the floodgates for a wide range of content, and with it comes the question of ethical boundaries. Among the myriad of content available, stories from religious texts, particularly Bible stories, have found their way into the mix. These stories, rich with moral lessons and wisdom, provide a deep well of inspiration for content. But is using these revered tales for content creation crossing a line? Is it a respectful homage or a sacrilegious exploitation? This ethical quandary is not just about religious sensibilities, it's about the broader question of what's fair game in content creation. It's about the balance between creativity and respect, between freedom of expression and cultural sensitivity. It's about the fine line that separates inspiration from appropriation. In today's multicultural, multi-faith world, this discussion is more relevant than ever. As content creators, we have a responsibility to navigate these complex waters with care. We have the power to educate, inspire, and entertain, but we also have the potential to offend, misinterpret, or misrepresent. So where do we draw the line? What guidelines should we follow when using religious stories in our content? These are the questions we need to ask ourselves as we tread this delicate path. Our aim is not to provide definite answers, but rather to stimulate a thoughtful discussion. To ponder on the ethical implications, to weigh the pros and cons, and to foster a dialogue that respects all perspectives. Let's delve deeper into this issue and explore the different perspectives. Religious stories have been a source of inspiration for centuries. They've been the lifeblood of numerous art forms, from paintings that hang in the world's greatest museums to epic poems that have stood the test of time. These stories, in their essence, are more than just tales. They are the collective wisdom of our ancestors, the moral compass for societies, and the inspiration for countless creators throughout history. Let's take a journey back in time. Picture the Renaissance period, where religious narratives were the muse behind some of the most iconic artwork. Think of Michelangelo's The Creation of Adam or Leonardo da Vinci's The Last Supper. These masterpieces were not just about portraying religious figures, but about capturing the human condition, exploring themes of love, sacrifice, and redemption. Fast forward to the realm of literature. From Dante's Divine Comedy to John Milton's Paradise Lost, religious stories have been woven into the fabric of narrative storytelling. They have given authors a rich tapestry of characters and narratives to explore profound questions about our existence and morality. Switch gears to the silver screen. Films like The Ten Commandments and The Passion of the Christ have used religious narratives to create compelling cinema. These stories, with their high stakes, moral dilemmas, and complex characters, provide a fertile ground for filmmakers to explore. Now let's look at music. Hymns, gospel music, spirituals. These are all genres born out of religious stories. They've given voice to human emotions in their rawest form, offering solace, hope, and a sense of community. It's clear that religious stories have left an indelible mark on our cultural landscape. They've been the springboard for creative expression across centuries, transcending geographical boundaries and cultural divides. They've shaped our understanding of the world, our values, and our sense of identity. However, as we move into an era dominated by digital content, it's worth asking the question, but does this tradition justify their use in the realm of content creation? There are indeed compelling arguments in favor of using religious stories for content creation. Our world is a diverse tapestry of cultures, beliefs, and traditions. And at the heart of many of these are religious stories. These stories, passed down through generations, are a treasure trove of profound themes, moral lessons, and universal truths. Firstly, let's talk about their universal appeal. These stories, whether they're from the Bible, the Quran, the Bhagavad Gita, or any other religious text, resonate with millions around the globe. They're not just stories, they're narratives that have shaped civilizations, influenced laws, and guided moral compasses. They offer a common language that transcends geographical boundaries, ethnic differences, and language barriers. In other words, they have an inbuilt, wide-reaching audience base. Secondly, the depth of their themes is another significant advantage. religious stories aren't shallow tales. They delve into the very essence of human nature, exploring themes of love, sacrifice, faith, morality, and the eternal quest for knowledge and truth. These are themes that never grow old or irrelevant. They continue to echo in our modern lives, making content based on these stories evergreen and perpetually engaging. Now let's consider their ability to provoke thought and discussion. These stories are not just about divine beings or miraculous events. They're about choices, dilemmas, and consequences. They force us to question, to reflect, and to engage in meaningful conversations. They prompt us to think about our actions, our beliefs, and our values. Content that provokes thought and discussion is not just consumed and forgotten. Instead, it lingers in the mind, it stimulates conversations, and it fosters a deeper connection with the audience. Moreover, religious stories often contain a moral or a lesson. This educational aspect can be a powerful tool for content creators. It provides an opportunity to impart wisdom, to inspire change, and to stimulate personal growth. It's not just about entertainment, it's about enrichment too. Finally, there's the element of familiarity. These stories have been around for centuries. They're taught in schools, discussed in homes, and preached in places of worship. Their familiarity can be a strong hook, drawing in audiences who are eager to see a fresh perspective on a tale they know well. In conclusion, religious stories, with their universal appeal, the depth of their themes, their ability to provoke thought and discussion, their educational value, and their familiarity, provide a rich and diverse source for content creation. They offer a unique blend of entertainment and enlightenment, of reflection and resonance. However, like all things, there are two sides to the coin. Despite the apparent benefits, there are significant concerns associated with using religious stories for content creation. Now, let's delve into the other side of the coin, the potential downsides. Firstly, there's the risk of disrespect. Religious texts such as the Bible are deeply revered by their followers. They are not just stories, they are sacred narratives that guide people's lives. Using these stories for content creation, particularly in a lighthearted or comedic manner, could be seen as trivializing their importance. Imagine turning the story of Moses parting the Red Sea into a whimsical animation, or presenting the Last Supper as a cooking show. It can easily cross the line from creative interpretation to outright disrespect. Secondly, there's the issue of misinterpretation. Religious texts are rich, complex, and often open to different interpretations. Even scholars who devote their lives to studying these texts sometimes disagree on their meanings. For a content creator, there's a real risk of misinterpreting the stories, either inadvertently or through a lack of understanding. Misinterpretation can lead to the spread of misinformation, and in the context of religious stories, this can have profound implications. This brings us to the third concern, causing offense. Faith is a deeply personal matter, and what might seem like a harmless creative liberty to one person could be deeply offensive to another. If you're using religious stories in your content, you're inevitably going to reach an audience who holds those stories sacred. If they feel their beliefs are being mocked or misrepresented, the backlash can be severe. We live in a diverse world, and it's important to respect the beliefs and values of all our viewers. Moreover, there's a broader societal concern. Religion can be a divisive subject, and using religious stories in content creation can contribute to that division. It can perpetuate stereotypes, fuel religious tensions, or simply add to the noise and confusion around religious beliefs. This isn't to say that religion should be off limits in content creation, but it's a factor to consider. Finally, there's the risk of legal repercussions. In many countries, laws protect religious sentiments and prohibit any form of blasphemy. Misusing religious stories in your content could land you in legal trouble. Not to mention the potential for social media platforms to take down your content or even suspend your account. Now, this isn't to say that you should steer clear of religious stories altogether. They are a rich source of inspiration and can add depth and meaning to your content. But it's crucial to approach them with respect, understanding, and sensitivity. Do your research, consult with experts if needed, and always be mindful of the potential impact of your work. These concerns certainly add a layer of complexity to the issue. Understanding these potential pitfalls can help you navigate this delicate terrain and ultimately create content that is both engaging and respectful. So, how do we strike a balance between creative freedom and respect for religious sentiments? Navigating this delicate space is akin to walking a tightrope. On one side, we have the compelling call of creativity, tugging us towards fresh interpretations and novel perspectives. On the other, we have the weight of religious sentiments, reminding us of the gravity and respect these stories command. The first step towards finding this balance is research. It's essential to understand the context, the characters, and the nuances of the religious stories we choose to portray. This goes beyond a cursory reading. It's about diving deep, unearthing the layers of meaning, and appreciating the cultural and religious significance of these narratives. Next, consider consultation with religious experts. They can provide valuable insights, clarifying ambiguities, and offering guidance on sensitive aspects of the story. These individuals, well-versed in the religious text, can help us navigate the intricacies and subtleties of these stories. Their expertise can be the beacon that guides us through the labyrinth of religious narratives, helping us avoid inadvertent misinterpretations or misrepresentations. The third avenue to explore is a sensitive portrayal of religious stories. This means approaching these narratives with an attitude of reverence and respect. It's about recognizing the sanctity of these stories, understanding their profound impact on people's beliefs and values, and portraying them with the dignity they deserve. And remember, humor can be a powerful tool in storytelling, but when dealing with religious content, it's important to use it judiciously. What may seem like harmless fun to some could potentially offend others. The key is to tread lightly, being mindful of the delicate balance between humor and respect. All these elements combined, research, consultation, and sensitive portrayal, can help us strike that elusive balance between creative freedom and respect for religious sentiments. These strategies aren't foolproof, but they provide a solid foundation, a starting point for content creators venturing into the realm of religious storytelling. Ultimately, the responsibility lies with the content creator. So, is it ethical to use religious stories for content creation? In our exploration, we've traversed the landscape of this intriguing question, weighing the pros and cons, the yays and nays. Let's take a moment to reflect on what we've discovered. On the one hand, religious stories offer a wealth of inspiration. They're a conduit to universal themes of love, sacrifice, redemption, and resilience. They've been a part of our cultural fabric for centuries, influencing literature, art, and even our moral compass. Utilizing these narratives for content creation can be seen as a homage, a continuation of their influence and relevance in our contemporary lives. However, we've also acknowledged the potential pitfalls. The risk of misinterpretation, of causing offense, or of commodifying something sacred. It's a delicate balancing act, a tightrope walk between inspiration and exploitation. It's paramount that we approach these stories with the respect and sensitivity they deserve. The act of creation is inherently subjective, shaped by the creator's perspective, experiences, and intentions. The same story can be told in a multitude of ways, each with its own unique interpretation and impact. This is the beauty of storytelling, but it's also where the ethical complexities arise. So, where does that leave us? It's clear that there's no one-size-fits-all answer. The decision to use religious stories as a source for content creation is a personal one, underpinned by individual judgment and influenced by societal norms. It's about finding that sweet spot, where you can draw from these narratives in a way that is respectful, thoughtful, and adds value to the conversation. It's about being aware of your audience, understanding the implications of your creative choices, and being willing to engage in open dialogue about them. In the end, it's not just about what stories we choose to tell, but how we choose to tell them. The narrative is in your hands. The answer isn't black and white, but lies somewhere in the gray area of individual judgment and societal norms. As we conclude, it's clear that the use of religious stories in content creation is a topic of great complexity. The ethical quandaries we've explored today have shed light on the many considerations that must be taken into account. Drawing inspiration from religious stories can be a powerful tool in content creation. These narratives have shaped cultures, inspired countless works of art, and provided moral guidance for billions of people worldwide. The power of these narratives is undeniable, and their influence on our collective consciousness is profound. However, it's important to remember the pros and cons we discussed. On the one hand, using religious stories can provide a rich source of inspiration, allowing content creators to explore deep themes and connect with their audience on a meaningful level. On the other hand, there's the potential for controversy and offense, particularly if the stories are not treated with the respect and sensitivity they deserve. The balancing act, then, is to find a way to harness the power of these stories while maintaining a sense of respect and understanding. This is not a task to be taken lightly and requires a careful and thoughtful approach. It's clear that there's no one-size-fits-all answer to this question. What may be perfectly acceptable to one person may be offensive to another. That's why it's so important to engage in open and respectful dialogue about these issues. We've only scratched the surface of this complex topic today. There are many more nuances to explore and questions to ask. We hope that this video has sparked your curiosity and encouraged you to delve deeper into this fascinating subject. We invite you to continue the discussion in the comments section. Share your thoughts, your experiences, and your insights. Let's keep the conversation going and learn from one another. Remember, the power of content creation comes with the responsibility of respect and understanding. Thank you for joining us in this thought-provoking discussion.